Starty, how are you? This is the Radio Nova Stereophonics podcast. The guys are going to be in town November 12th at the O2. Richard Jones from the band on the phone with me now.
Marty.
Hello, Richard. How are you, fella?
I'm very good, thank you.
You know, one of the things that I really admire about your band is your ability to adapt to venues. I have seen you play what was the Old Point Depot, right, in Dublin. I've seen you guys support in Slane, headline Slane, play the small, intimate Academy up to the Olympia and now back to the 14,500-seater O2. How do you guys adapt like that?
I don't know. We love playing, like all types of stages, and for us to do the small venues, it's where you get the feeling. Like you don't get a better feeling than when the people are probably 5-6 feet in front of you. Some of the bigger shows, you feel like a bigger band then when you're doing the bigger shows, and you can incorporate more production value when you're doing those. But I think those small shows, it's great because there's no hiding there. People hear the songs how they're supposed to be played. It is literally just music coming right at you. There's nothing else. There's no big video screens. There's no, like smoke and mirrors. It is literally what you're there for, is to watch a band and listen to the music being played. So I don't know. We love playing festivals. We love playing like big stadiums, arenas. It's just one of those things, that they work differently for us, and we treat them differently every time we step on the stage. We know exactly, what we need to do when we step on a different size stage. So.
When you guys started, though, 20 odd years ago, playing, the smaller venues, and I'm suppose like every other band, you would have dreamed of playing like the massive stages. And now that you finally got there, but yet you seem to come back to the smaller stages often enough. So I'm getting the impression that you almost prefer the smaller stage for the realness and for the closeness and the intimacy.
Well, I suppose because we can do all the different sizes, you are able then to, pick your probably most comfortable versions of where to play. But yeah, it's great being able to do the bigger stages. Don't get me wrong, those big stages they're fantastic.
Must be mind blowing, yeah.
It is, yeah. We done the Live 8 gig in Hyde Park, and I think it was 300,000 people in front of you, and it goes to billions worldwide on the TV, and those moments, you kind of have an out-the-body experience while doing that, because you never expect to be in those situations. But then, when you're doing the smaller shows, you are right there. There is nowhere to lose yourself. It is about everybody watching your every move, and you kind of absorb into almost like what the crowd are doing as well.
Yeah. And I suppose you can feed off that energy then,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You've gone for it on this new album, Graffiti on the Train, production-wise, strings, brass sections, everything else is in there. When you do the O2 in November, how will you have the brass sections with you? How do you replicate that?
Well, what we usually do with the strings on the record, because of course we can't take a big, 32-piece orchestra with us. That'll just be impossible. We use kind of like a sample. Yeah. A sample of those strings, and Tony, the keyboard player, he plays them, or we may have a track running. Yeah. But we're just deciding now whether or not to take a quartet with us to, help with doing all that, and it
would be beautiful. It would be beautiful.
It's more pleasing on the eye as well, then, rather than having sound coming out of something which is either a sample or like a backing version of what you played. So yeah, we just deciding the production of the arenas now.
Is it nice as a band to progress and bring strings into the production of the records, or a brass section? How do you feel about that?
I think, with us, we've always let the songs dictate what do they need. We've never been the kind of band that says, no, we're only going to be a 3-piece band on this song or this album or whatever. It is, if the song dictates, like it needs a big horn section, or it needs strings, or it needs banjos, or anything really. Like we'll always give it a go, and if it works, it'll stay on it. If it doesn't work, like we'll try something else. It's brilliant to be able to try those different things, like because otherwise you would be, like using all the synthetic sounds that you get, like with all the computer packages, etc., etc. But it's brilliant to watch, like a big orchestra working, and like what they can do as musicians. Like it makes you feel a little bit insignificant when you watch them boys play.
Yeah, but upon saying that, to get the sound that they have to have 400 people there. You know what I mean? So it's just a different beast. It really is, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
I wanted to come back to something you just said there about banjos. There's a lot of love around at the moment for the banjo band, isn't there?
It is, yeah.
What's that all about?
I think it's just, like it's not so much fashion. It's just as soon as a type of music, like a genre of music gets popular, like there's no hiding from it. Record companies, like put out everything that sounds remotely similar to it, and like it kind of takes over, like the airways. Then, like all the playlists kind of play the similar things, and you know what it's like. So I don't know. They usually come around in almost like fashion, like in fads. But it's great to have a variety of music out there, like and that's the way it should be. Like why not? Like have a harpist on a record, or like Bjork does. She uses every single probably instrument you could think of under the sun. She's probably used on like a variety of her records. So.
When you guys are writing particular stuff, actually, for example, Roll the Dice, the first time I heard that when listening to the album, I was like, oh, hello, bit of a Bond theme going on here. Was there any inspiration from, David Arnold's involved, of course.
He is, yeah. And
I've just clicked that.
I think, like Roll the Dice for us, like we kind of, like not took out inspiration, but we were hinting upon, like our... like some of the bands we loved when we were kids, like the Who, like it's got a big, that big Who vibe to it, and then when the strings kick in, it has got that big grand Bond vibe to it. And yeah, David Arnold was brilliant to work with. He just, like he listened to about 4 tracks when we had the idea of putting some orchestra stuff on there, and he loved what he heard. And we just told him to run with it, really, like use your imagination and go for gold, and that's what he done. And it was a brilliant experience.
Well, definitely on Roll the Dice, I get a bit of that Barry-esque vibe kicking through from the old Bond theme. Very nicely done. Vocally, Kelly sounds, I think, a bit different on this album. He sounds, I don't want it to sound like. He sounds like he's matured a bit. You know, that raspiness isn't particularly protruding the way it used to on previous records.
Yeah, I think over the last couple of years, like we've all realized that to be able to keep what we do going, you've got to, like look after what you do, and like train at what you do, and like that's what Kelly's been doing over the last couple of years. He's been helping his vocals by doing a little bit of training, and therefore, like you can make it last. Your vocal cords are a muscle, so you have got to, like work at it to keep them strong. And I suppose, like he's realized over the last 5, 6 years that, like that's what needs to happen, like for his voice to carry on, really. Like you can't keep on thinking, like you're a 20-something and it's always going to be there,
The album is kind of mature sounding though as well, or is that just me?
I think it is, yeah. And like for us going into the studio, we just wanted these songs, this album, like just to work itself, really. Like we didn't want to be restrained by doing 3-minute pop songs. We wanted to let the songs just open out and like use those orchestras and like tag on bits on the end of songs, and if it ends up being 5-6 minutes, then let it be, really. Like Yeah, it was a very freeing experience. We didn't have a record company breathing down our neck, and we had our own studio, which, like we could just take our time in then.
Does it piss you off that every time you turn on the radio at home or wherever, that a DJ will go, Stereophonics are coming up, and you'll know it's going to be Have a Nice Day or something like that?
No, it's like it's great to know that those older songs are still very much part of people's like lives, and I suppose like for us to just want to concentrate on new material, then that doesn't do like the people that are into the band any justice, and those songs, like we do want the songs to last rather than be those just spur of the moment pop songs that like just kind of sound of one era.
Yeah. No, I have to say, I mean, I love Bartender, and actually one of my favourite Stereophonic songs is Mr. Writer, and I feel that's been totally overlooked a lot of the time.
Yeah, I think Mr. Writer's got a bad rap just because of the content of it,
Yeah, I know.
I think every journalist thought it was about them, where Kelly wrote a song about one person that he thought didn't give us the time of day, really. So there you go. Yeah.
Graffiti on the train. When was the last time you were on a train, and what graffiti did you see?
I was on the train this morning.
Were you?
I took the train, from the town where I live into London. So yeah, that was probably 3 hours ago, and the graffiti I saw, it wasn't so much pictorial. It was, I think, just somebody stamping their name on a wall.
Yeah. November 12th at the O2. We're going to get a fair old mishmash of everything, though, aren't we? I mean, you will stretch back to those early days too, won't you?
Oh yeah, we've been doing the festivals over the summer, and it's been great, bringing some of the old songs which we haven't played for a couple of years back to life, and it just gives us a little bit of like an oomph to play the older songs as well. It's like, oh, remember this, remember that part, remember the energy we had. Let's give it back that, and see if we can add anything new to it as well.
Is there anything that you absolutely look forward to playing live? What would be your favourite track?
I don't know. I am just loving playing everything at the moment. Yeah. I love the new material, obviously, because it's what we're kind of working on now, and that's kind of our child that we want to do the best possible that it can possibly do. So, but I love all the old stuff as well, and some of the energetic old stuff is just really good fun to play, because as soon as the crowd get going, it's like, wow, it feels like 15 years ago or something again. When
the new album does come out, though, and you just mentioned it like a child, do you worry that it will be bullied in the school playground? Do you worry that, it won't be popular, or do you just let it, right, it's done, let's put it out there, and whatever happens, happens?
We usually don't think about it until the week is released, and that's when it's like, right, we put a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of emotions into writing and recording, and all the work that's involved with the videos, the artwork, photos, everything like that. You do everything to give it the best possible chance, and you do kind of hope that the critics give it what it should have is it's fair dues. Fair enough if they don't like it personally, but when they target something that ain't relevant to the album, that's when you kind of get really pissed off about it. It's like, well, just speak about the music that's on the album, and that's what it's about for us. Just giving what we do, the best chance possible to see what it can do.
On the track Take Me, Kelly's other half is on there. I thought it was Alison Goldfrapp initially. When it was suggested that Kelly's Mrs. Jackie would come in, was there any kind of an eyebrow raising in the session, kind of going, well, hang on, it's a bit Yoko Ono, isn't it? Nothing.
No, it's the way the band works is whoever can do what needs to be done best, that's who gets it done, really. We wanted to try a female vocal on Take Me. Jackie we all know can sing really well. And Kelly said, Jackie's coming by. We're going out for a bit of food after. So should we try just to see what it sounds like with like a female voice on it? Jackie sang it. It sounded brilliant. So
it's haunting. Yeah, it's lovely.
It was basically, well, we don't need to get anybody else in. It sounds that good in like that now. Let's just keep that.
Did Jackie get a session fee for that?
I think she'll have to sign up to Musicians Union and everything like that.
Hey, listen, man, we're looking forward to seeing you November 12th at Dublin's O2. Tickets are on sale right now, 42.05. And you guys are working on a movie as well?
Yeah, well, the whole concept of the album is kind of tied into a script Kelly's writing, basically about like two kids from a small town, and they go on this big find themselves journey, and yeah, it's all inspired by the incident, Graffiti on the Train, where the kid falls off the train where he's surfing there in the morning after spray painting in the night for his partner to see. So yeah, it all links in together, and hopefully in about 3-4 years' time, when the film's all done, it all makes sense. You know.
Is it that long away, really?
Well, it's just such a long process.
Yeah.
You know, Kelly's done, I think, 4 versions of the script. The film agency Wales, they've just jumped on board, and BAFTA's been helping, like with the development of the script. So it's just got to go back and forth, and like perhaps a couple of rewrites. And as soon as we get some production involved, that's when hopefully, like the first steps will be of, like putting it into, like getting something shot, really.